25-year Protestant minister, 20 years full-time Pentecostal minister, sold out the whole route. We're so glad to have you with us here tonight. I hope you're ready for some unindoctrination, because ready or not, here it comes. Tonight, Hitler. That's right, Hitler. The Argentina Rus. And was it foretold in the Bible? Pedro says, hello from
it is the
French
script.
Alps. I love the French Alps. Very beautiful country down there. Had the pleasure to be there.
Oui,
Nina
très,
says
très
hello
belle.
to us. It's nice to see Nina in the Rockfin chat room. Christy Daniels in the Rockfin chat room. Rockfin is our go-to platform. You can find it at Rockfin.
Just no big screen on Rockfin. You gotta upgrade that. Love the big screen. Watching on
not have to
YouTube.
be a member. If you want to be a member, you get all of the premium programming of all of the content providers, but you can watch for free. And we also have in the Rockfin chat room, Cruz Michael, Eli Gatekeeper is here, Brandon Sullivan is here, Stephen 392 is here. Nice to see you, Stephen, as always. Nice to see the regulars. Nice to see the new people. Stephen brings greetings from New Jersey. And in the YouTube chat room, Freedom Dagger.
Yeah.
Smoochie is in the housey. Dana Young, Bella, Mark Howard.
Howard.
Tenebrous. Nice to see
I have a buddy
you.
named
Carol
Mark Howard.
Luthi,
Tenebrous, that's been a
Aaron
long
Steele.
time since he's been
Plastic
around.
Jesus is in the house.
Plastic Jesus, another guy I haven't seen in a while.
The ever-present, nearly omniscient Two Trees. We're glad that
Two Trees is the man.
Scuba Meru. I don't know if you were first tonight, Scuba. I can't remember. I think you
Scooby-Doo.
Abraham Ramirez. We also have with us Mind Trippin' Stormy Flores.
Stormy.
She made it before it was over. You made it before it even started. Jama.
That's how she rolls.
And also Joyce Marie. It looks like Joyce Marie.
Oops, come on, open this up. Forgot to open it up.
Steve
Borg, my man.
Fisky is here with us as well. And boy,
come on, there we go.
That's
better. I don't want to drop it.
Jam-packed program tonight.
Jam-packed.
I saw her right there at the end. So she's here too. A jam-packed program. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Dagger said it was great to see the Chancellor on the big screen. I'm telling you, folks.
I'll be posting that on Instagram for sure.
For the Chancellor.
Yes, sir.
And probably by the Chancellor with that advanced technology.
Ooh.
Ferguson says, what time is it, cousins? It's Jeffrey Darty time. Jeffrey Darty live from the Heartland.
Ooh, yeah.
Here we are, wall-to-wall, treetop tall, coast-to-coast, border-to-border, and beyond. And it is a beautiful thumbnail, is it not? Is that not a gorgeous thumbnail?
Beautiful.
That's a beautiful thumbnail. And it is time to indoctrinate, cousins. So let's go ahead and do just that. We're here to help you unindoctrinate yourself. This is jam-packed, so let's go ahead and jump right in. We will open the phone lines as we can. Well, I've got a lot of data to get to you tonight. So, many people believe that Adolf Hitler died in the bunker in Berlin back in 1945. That's what many people believe. But
not
as
me.
of late, much information has been coming to the fore, which brings that conclusion into question. And in my view, it brings it into question rightly so. And tonight, with this deprogram, you see, other people do programming, we do deprogramming. And the reasons why are very simple, and you know them. I submit to you tonight that objective review of all available evidence proves, doesn't suggest, but it proves that Adolf Hitler did in fact escape his Berlin bunker and fled to safety in exile. He fled to safety in exile. The popular conspiratorial lore says that he went to Jerusalem, not Jerusalem, but Argentina. Starting a new conspiracy theory. Popular conspiratorium lore
Well,
says that he
Father
went
Crespi might have
to
went there.
Argentina and lived out his life there peacefully. There's a lot of photographic evidence. There's a lot of eyewitness testimony. It's pretty abundant. And that tells me that he did not go to Argentina. You see what I said there? Remember Mark Twain? He said that whenever he finds himself in the majority, he stops and checks his facts. Because when everybody knows something, that's when you've got to start asking questions. There's a lot of photographic evidence that he went to Argentina. There's a lot of eyewitness testimony that he went to Argentina. That's exactly why I know he didn't go.
Oh, there's still some in this one.
So, Jeff, how do you explain the evidence? Well, I do. And I want to let you know before we go down.
He always brings the
this
receipts.
isn't something I just dreamed up from afar. I spent almost 4 years living in Germany. I spent almost 4 years living in Germany, and I spent 2 weeks in 3 consecutive years down in Berchtesgaden, in the Führer Berghof, had access to the tunnels, the bunkers.
That would be
So
cool.
what I bring to you tonight comes from 6 weeks of intensive study on site in Berchtesgaden, Germany, in the very tunnels that the Führer himself walked. Now let's talk about that term Führer. You know, George Lincoln Rockwell, who was a great leader, didn't like the word Führer because he said, we're not Germans.
The great chancellor is much
he's
better.
Right. But I just can't bring myself to call Hitler Hitler. I like the chancellor. That's the name I usually go with, especially on YouTube. So we'll stay with the chancellor on YouTube. But the Führer is fun to say, and it's kind of an honorarium to me. So that's why I use it. I understand that it's not 100% accurate. Not 100% accurate. Tracy says, do you think he went to Argentina or to Antarctica? No. But Tracy's thinking. That's Tracy Cooperrider, who's also in the house. We will
See Cooperrider.
And let's start down that road right now. All credible scholars have dismissed the manufactured Soviet evidence of Hitler supposedly suicided and partially burned.
Yeah,
and we have
that was a clone for sure.
Who the Soviets were. We have to remember who the Soviets were. And the
Soviet
statement I can
Soviet regime.
About who the Soviets were.
That's why I call them the Soviet regime. Put 2 and 2 together.
That were leaders of the Soviet Union when it was instituted.
Reminds me of John Lamb last video popped up in my feed. I'm gonna have to check it out. I haven't watched him in a long time. He's the one that came up with the code. That's where I get the Soviet regime from. He calls them the Soviet regime.
Jewish heritage. I don't think I have to expound on that. I'm just bringing you a fact. So the manufactured Soviet evidence. Well, Jeff, they've got pictures. Yeah, we got pictures of Elvis at Starbucks.
I got lots of pictures.
Jeff, they had bones. Yeah, there's a lot.
I got pictures of bones too. Don't like meat, but they sure like the bone.
And don't think that that is a coincidence. It's another slap. So anyway, German spy Don Engel Alcazar de Velasco.
That's a long name.
Don Engel Alcazar.
That doesn't sound German.
Velasco. That's a fun name to say. Don Engel Alcazar.
It's probably Angel.
Velasco. I like it. He gives compelling testimony of Hitler's escape with Martin Bormann. Actually, I hold that he escaped just after Martin Bormann, per my investigations. But Don Engel Alcazar de Velasco says that the Chancellor escaped from the Führer bunker and smashed Berlin. And the book Hitler in Argentina by Harry Cooper, which I read over the past couple of days and will be using using in this
Hitler in
program.
Argentina.
It
That
also
sounds
provides
interesting.
much evidence of
I've
the
already
scam.
got 3 books I need to read.
But
Reading Trump Art of the
albeit
Deal right now, and I've
with
got a couple more here. What
conclusion
I got?
that
Getting
differs
to Yes.
very
Yeah, another one
drastically from
somewhere.
mine.
I want to go
But there's
buy
one
some more too.
conclusion
I
that we
want
can
to
all
read. Check the
join in,
list
and
for
that is that focused life force
on my
energy
email from
changes your life. It really
Dream
does.
Builders, and
Focused life force energy says
7. I actually saw a video today about kind of like a summary of the 7 habits of successful people. 7 something like that by Covey, Stephen Covey. I want to read that one. That one I know for sure that was on the book list.
Be more high consciousness. You're a better person. You're a nicer person. You're a calmer
So many books I need to read.
Giftings
Need to catch up. Haven't been
accelerated.
reading. I used to read a lot when I lived in Edmonton.
It's just that simple.
Got lots of books I need to catch up with. Art of the Deal's been interesting so far.
Blind study evidence that I'll be bringing to you very shortly.
Don't have a signed copy like JD does though.
5G EMF mitigation properties.
Hello everyone.
Life force energy. It even turns 5G into a benevolent energetic force in your home, and it doesn't slow down your devices. I know you want to believe it, but it sounds almost, well, you know.
Good to see you, Dwayne. How's it going, bro? I can only go live on this channel. My new channel, I don't have enough subscribers, so I did a live earlier today. I figured I'd do an after party. My buddy's show just ended, so I figured I'd rewatch it. I'm always on the chat, so I don't see it. Yeah, in Ottawa. Moved to Ottawa after my dad died in Trenton, so.
With that as a introduction, we go ahead and move forward. Joseph Stalin. And if you're...
We're in Stalin territory right now. All you people going out to vote. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a long year, but I'm a lot better now.
Joseph
So.
Stalin was the leader of the Soviet Union, one of the leading figures of communism. And Joseph Stalin was asked by President Harry Truman at the Potsdam Conference if he thought that Hitler was dead.
Nope.
And Joseph Stalin claimed to answer.
Stalin wouldn't lie, would he? Maybe to his own people,
at
maybe.
the Potsdam Conference, which was after the war, if he thought that Hitler was dead. This came after Field Marshal Zhukov also told Stalin, "We found no corpse that could be Hitler's."
Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't matter, Dwayne, because the CCP owns the voting machines in Canada and the U.S. That's why Biden and Trudeau keep getting elected. So, like my buddy says here, he's actually talking about Stalin right now. We're in Stalin territory, so it doesn't really matter who you vote for. Look what happened in Quebec. Legault got re-elected, so I'm sure people in Quebec didn't want to vote for him. I've seen a lot of posts on my Facebook. They definitely weren't in favor of him. So as long as they don't have write-in ballots, like the old school where you could write in your own ballots, like it's not going to be any fair elections anymore. So it's not even worth voting, unfortunately. And all the politicians are owned anyways. So like look at Polyev. Everybody thinks he's so great. I used to even be behind him. Now he's just a mouthpiece. He's actually on the WEF website. So yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, we have to. It's for the people. They're taking way too many liberties nowadays. Unfortunately. Fortunately, I wish we had the great chance of taking in charge instead of El Presidente Castro. Not a surprise, no.
7 years later, they still had no evidence. And 75, 80 years later, they still have no evidence. Thomas J.
No receipts, no evidence.
Chief trial counsel at the show trials in Nuremberg said,
yeah, Nuremberg, no, what a joke that was.
Can say Hitler is dead. And again, Field Marshal Zhukov told Joseph Stalin after a long and thorough investigation.
I might stop voting because you said Mark. It is a sham. You're right. You're right. The great chancellor had it going. Took better care. If you look at how Germany was after World War I to how they when he brought them back up to like one of the top countries in the world, he actually took care of his citizens. Whereas look at Canada and the U.S., they don't give a shit about us. All they do is they want to bring in immigrants and give money to refugees, send money overseas. They don't care about us. Veterans like me, they don't care about us. They don't care about any like in the 80s at least. I had a great childhood growing up. Unfortunately, my nieces and nephews. I wouldn't be a bite. So, oh man, I wish there's these two clowns that we ran into downtown Ottawa. They were talking about how great a President Biden was. I actually just saw a video on TikTok where his granddaughter said that he died 3 years ago, and the person that's in office right now is actually his twin brother Bo. So it's pretty crazy, man. What's going on? There's a lot of crazy shit going on right now. I don't believe half the shit they say. I poured a little too much here.
Very, very powerful testimony from people in
Joe is far from great. He's owned by CCP, just like Trudeau is. They're all owned, bought, and paid for, unfortunately. Like I said, that's why voting it's not worth it anymore. We have to rise up. What they're trying to do right now is they're trying to divide and conquer us. Jabbed, unjabbed. I call them non-swimmers and swimmers. Trying to divide us that way. They're trying to divide us by race. No, exactly. Growing up in the 80s and 90s, it's like totally different, man. I just feel sorry for my niece and nephew growing up right now in this crazy country. Having to wear, before my dad died, I actually saw my niece and nephew. Kind of, when my dad died, it kind of fell apart. But my niece was like, "Oh, put your mask on, Uncle David." And we would go into the store, and I'm like, "Oh man." And she wears hand sanitizer. She's a little development. Like, I love her obviously, but she was born premature. She's a little developmentally challenged. But yeah, I'm pretty sure both are jabbed. And my brother, he's still. Actually, I just found out he moved to Ottawa too. He got a promotion. He got the Triple M award. I forget on the major because I showed the major here. Picture of his profile on LinkedIn, and he's like, "Oh, he's got the award." So I looked it up. In November of last year, he was here getting the medal from the Governor General. So my buddy that I worked for in the summer, I actually thought I saw my mom. Guaranteed, 100% it was her, because the way she walked, holding her back like that. I saw her walking down the street. I'm like 100. I told my buddy that's probably my mom, guaranteed. And obviously, I don't talk to her anymore. I haven't talked to her. The last time I talked to her was via email and through my lawyer, and yeah, she is not upholding my dad's wishes. Let's put it that way. So I gave up. My lawyer's like, look for the video of your dad promising you $50,000. And oh, sorry to hear that, bud. Yeah, I don't like. I just need to get away. My mom and my brother are very negative. Even when my dad got diagnosed with cancer, right away they're like already planning it. She started giving away his shit already. Like as soon as got diagnosed, he was already dying of liver disease. But they gave him a year, and then he got cancer, and they gave him like 6 months or whatever. We started to fall. We knew something was wrong. We thought it was just another bout of colitis. But yeah, he was like it was the worst thing I've ever seen. I don't wish that on anybody. But yeah, it was pretty sad. I was the only one that was positive, trying to keep my dad's spirits. Yeah, my grandma passed away from cancer. My dad's mom, sorry. And actually, my buddy that I'm listening to right now, JD, did a show on the kill shots. I don't want to talk. I don't want to say the exact word because on YouTube it'll flag. But Louis Pasteur was a shill, just like Fauci is. If you know who Fauci is, you know who Louis Pasteur. I'm sure you know. But they got the idea for those. If you know what I mean. If you know what I mean, Louis Pasteur, who patented them. They got the idea from that in the Talmud. So if you look who owns all the pharmaceutical companies, they're all part of the Soviet regime. I gotta speak in code because can't say those names, but you know the chosen people. Oh wow, 94 though. And you know, Dwayne, the side effects of the kill shots. If you look back when Louis Pasteur brought his patents and that, there was no such thing as cancer and heart disease. My grandfather passed away of heart disease, and my grandma passed away of cancer, and my dad passed away of cancer. Cancer and heart disease just showed up when Louis Pasteur created these things. So I haven't taken a single one of those since I left the military in 2001. So I don't plan on taking it anymore, even if they're trying to force them into my arm. I'm gonna fight right to the end not to get any. Wow, that's awesome. That's good genes, man. It's crazy because my dad's brother, half brother, passed away at 91. I think it was 91, and he was doing his. My dad was the power of attorney, so he was doing his. Good for you, man. Good for you. I didn't take anything either. I didn't take a test. I didn't take a anything. I actually hitchhiked back from St. Albert just so because when Trudeau got elected, I didn't want to. When I sent all my stuff back to Ontario, I didn't want to like take a test or I obviously didn't have the jab. My buddy was trying to make me a fake card, so I just hitchhiked back from St. Albert to Trenton, and it was the funnest 10 days ever. Only took me 10 days, and I was stuck in Kenora for 3 of them. So, it was awesome. I definitely got to hitchhike again. My friend in Hawaii wants me to go visit her. At least they're dropping all the mandates, so I can actually fly out there. Excuse me. I didn't know I'd have to get any of that crazy stuff. And you don't even have to wear masks, which is awesome. Oh, here I come. Gotta listen, I'm coming up here. Turn up the volume. Calling in. I will.
If you have a question or a comment, try to make it right now about the segment that we just
I always have so much things to talk about. So when I call that, I want. He gives those rules like in the middle of the show. You have to like talk about what's going on. So
little product.
Everything's lived past the night. Wow, you had good genes, man. That's the problem. My dad was a great guy, but he didn't take care of himself. So he died at 77. So he didn't have. My mother's 81 now, and she's a battle axe. She might live forever. Although I'm sure she's got all the kill shots. There's 5 or 6 or however how many they're up to now. But I saw Tam recently talking about, oh, you have to keep updated just to keep everyone safe or whatever. Like, fuck you. Not a chance, buddy. That
Hitler alive today. Come on, Linda, what kind of question is that? We'll get back to it. We're live from the Heartland, and so are you. What's on your mind?
Hey, Jeff, this is Jim.
Hey, Jim, what's up?
Yeah, my family
when 50 years ago
founded Kingston, and all my relatives had farms. Like my grandfather's father, who unfortunately my grandfather married, his first wife passed away, giving birth to my dad's half sister. So he married my grandma, who was Catholic. So my grandfather was an Orangeman. So my grandfather ran the grist mill, I think it was. I don't really know. In Kingston. So my grandfather married my grandma. He disowned him. So that's why I didn't really know him. I think I met my half uncle like once. I never met my half aunt ever. Although I heard stories that she came to visit us in Ajax. And my grandma told her to leave. So it's that's why I'm not a religious guy. I ruined my family. So I'm not a religious guy. That's why I love listening to the Christian Whistleblower. And I'm gonna be. Oh, here I am.
Hey, JD, it's DAGR. What's going on?
Hey, brother. The Chancellor's looking good on the big screen, huh?
Oh, he looks fantastic. Not as good as you, but he still looks pretty good.
What's up, my friend?
I mentioned Father Kresge. I remember listening to Coast years ago. I forget who was on with him. And if you look online too, the whole premise behind it was that he got the Chancellor got plastic surgery, and the Catholic Church hit him after the war. And if you do a comparison, you look at it, he looks identical to him. It's creepy.
Oh, so Father Kresge might be the Chancellor.
Yeah, and then if you go look up his tombstone, and if you're a father, I think he went to I forget what island it was, like off the top of my head, I can't think of it. When you look at his tombstone, it's a big, huge tombstone. So if it was like an old father, like that's not supposed to have much money, but it would make sense if it was him because it was a huge tombstone and he could afford to get a big tombstone, right? So,
Very interesting. Very, very interesting.
yeah.
Another wrinkle in the story, huh?
Yeah, that's why for you to check it out. If anybody can get to the bottom of the story, you could do that for sure.
Dagger, I've never had any trouble getting the bottom. And that's Freedom Dagger.
Yeah, Freedom Dagger. That's my current channel.
He always
Freedom
gets
Dagger.
out of line. Sometimes
No.
bring Dagger back in. Ladies and
I'm
gentlemen,
a
boys
good
and
boy.
girls, cousins of all ages. All right, let's get back into the D program. Interesting stuff, and it all fits into what we're talking about tonight. Thank you. Great job on the calls. We appreciate
Thank you. I
it
appreciate it.
very much. The phone lines are not open now, so give your fingers a break. You can't get on early and hold on. It just doesn't work that way. We're not coast to coast. It's just me,
Coast to coast, like buttered
myself,
toast.
and I running everything. Okay, so back to the D program. Now we're going to get into some of the nitty gritty, as Nacho Libre might say.
Nachos.
The Diario Ilustrade, which basically means the illustrated diary of Santiago, Chile, 18 January 1948. They published a report on an incident at the Tempelhof airfield on 30 April 1945. I've been to Tempelhof airfield, that is in Berlin, and a gunner on a Ju-52 with SS troops for the defense of Berlin reported, and I quote, "During our refueling operation, I was suddenly elbowed in the ribs by my radio operator with a nod to look in a certain direction. About 100 meters, he saw a sleek Arado AR-234. This was a German jet transport, very, very advanced. And he and the radio operator saw, without any doubt whatsoever, standing in front of the jet, their commander-in-chief, Adolf Hitler, dressed in his field gray uniform and gesticulating animatedly with some party functionaries who were obviously seeing him off. For about 10 minutes, while the SS plane was being refueled, they observed this scene, and then imagine their shock when about 4:30 p.m. they took to the air again, and they were extremely astonished to hear during the military news that Hitler had committed suicide. Maybe he was like Jesus. Maybe he rose from the dead.
Yeah.
Jesus didn't say 3 days and 3 nights. Maybe the chance of rose from the dead before he was dead. Can he do that? But anyway,
Definitely.
eyewitness testimony that he was alive after he was supposed to be dead. So, as I look at the evidence, as I interpret the evidence, the question for honest scholars is not, did he escape? Because he obviously did. The real question for real scholars is, where did he go?
Exactly.
The answer has always been Argentina.
Nope.
And for good reason, as we'll see. And there's always been a few votes for Antarctica, which remains a possibility.
Yep.
My research concludes that neither one of these are correct.
Ooh.
That he went somewhere else that most people have never heard of, which in my mind makes it even more believable. Because if you're trying to disappear, what do? You disappear.
Yep.
You don't leave a trail that can be easily followed.
Makes sense.
And we move on. Argentina? Don't cry for me, Argentina.
That's when I had my first drink.
I don't know why I did that. It had something to do with it, but it was Argentina. It was a song. Someone didn't know. And y'all sounded thirsty to me.
Definitely
Check the review
thirsty.
of all available evidence proves, strong word, but
I'll have another
I
drink
say
to that.
proves that the Chancellor did in fact escape his Berlin bunker, and he did in fact flee to safety in exile. Again, conspiratorium lore wants us to believe he went to Argentina. A lot of photographs, a lot of testimony.
A lot of them went to Argentina, I heard, though.
Which tells me he didn't go to Argentina.
Nope.
Stay with me. And here, folks, is some of that evidence. Here's a picture taken in Argentina of a dude that looks very much like the Chancellor. Very much like the Chancellor.
Yeah, anybody can have that haircut from behind. Can't even see the mustache.
1946, I think. 47. Here's another one.
Well, you can see the mustache there.
Very much like the Chancellor. Obviously, he's at the same dinner. Here's another one. That looks a lot like the Chancellor.
It does.
A lot like the Chancellor. There were newspaper reports. Hitler and his mistress were safe on a Patagonia estate that's down in Argentina. If you're wondering, this book, it's a good read. Hitler in Argentina. I read it, Documented Truth of Hitler's Escape from Berlin. I agree, but I disagree, and we will see why. But folks, I hear you, Jeff. That looks just like the Chancellor. It looks just like the Chancellor, Jeff. It looks just like the Chancellor.
Broken record.
The Chancellor. It looks just like him. I know it looks just like him. That's why I know it's not true. But Jeff, it looks just like him. I know it looks just like him. That's why I know it's not him. It looks just like him. That's why I know it's not him. It looks just like him. That's why I know it's not him. There were newspaper reports everywhere. That's why I know it's not him. But Jeff, I don't understand. Exactly. That's why I'm here. To help you hopefully understand. Have you ever heard of the term an orgy of evidence?
No, but I do.
Have you ever heard?
I would like an orgy.
The statement, what is it? It's a saying. The orgy of evidence. Because Sean, I'm the host and it's my job to source my material. That's how I know. That's how I know. He didn't move there. He certainly visited with his friends. I don't know, James. Stay with me. Correct. You disappear into the oblivious. You disappear in the obvious. That's what Melissa says. Melissa's thinking what I'm thinking. My money would say he went to the underground Antarctic facility. James, that's possible.
Yep.
That is possible. Let's see. Some of you haven't tapped the like button yet. Jeff does his homework. Thank you, Melissa. And I do.
He always brings the receipts.
Let's see what we got in the Rockman chat. It does look like him, but with a flatter head on top. That's interesting. That's interesting. Choppy waters near Antarctica, just like the northern hemisphere, cyclone season. Interesting. They say whoever went to Argentina went in a submarine. Allies saying he's dead covers them since they couldn't catch him. Absolutely.
Makes sense.
The jet program that just suddenly sprung up in Argentina started from nothing. Nope. A German U-boat did go to Argentina. But an orgy of evidence refers to something that has so much evidence that it's like overkill. I know when I say orgy, the chat room gets excited. I know you do. But an orgy of evidence is a guy who's perhaps, let's think about it. 1945, is there any more person in the world more recognizable than the Chancellor? Probably not.
Not at that time.
Probably not. So does a guy who's the most recognizable guy in the world allow a bunch of pictures to be taken of him in exile. It's almost like somebody wanted these pictures of this guy that looks just like Adolf Hitler to be seen, but not really seen, kind of secretly seen. You see where I'm going?
Mm-hmm.
Adolf Hitler was in charge of the greatest military intelligence operation to date.
It was.
If he wanted to disappear, he would have disappeared.
True that.
If you're trying to hide, why would you let photos be taken of you, let alone multiple photos?
Hide in plain
as
sight.
well?
Best way to
Right.
hide.
Perfect.
Just ask Tupac
Why, if you're hiding in Argentina?
or Elvis.
Don't cry for me, Argentina. Don't hide from me, Argentina. That was the other. Don't hide from me, Argentina. Little joke. It's almost like he wanted them to think he was in Argentina.
Possible.
It's almost like he wanted them to think he was in
Very
Argentina.
possible.
It was an orgy of evidence. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cousins of all ages. And then it gets weirder. Here's a photo taken in 1960 at a hotel resort about 15 or 20 kilometers from the estate where the chancellor was supposedly living. Why was Keikenhauer down at the
Keikenhauer.
same area where Hitler allegedly escaped to?
I love that.
One might also wonder why then President Keikenhauer was in the little village of San Carlos de Barlioche. I know why he was there. That's the same village where the chancellor supposedly lived. And what's also weird is that not only did Eisenhower go there, Jimmy Carter went there. Thank you very much, I'm Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter went there. Bill Clinton, I did not have sex with the chancellor. And Barack Obama was also there. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. They were all there. Why? Why?
Interesting.
Eisenhower, Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama all went to this little bitty town where supposedly the chancellor was living. Did they go to pay homage to him? Did they go to get marching orders from him?
Maybe.
Why did they all go to this little bitty burg? Interesting, isn't it?
Just like why they go to Antarctica. Same type of
Interesting,
thing,
isn't
probably.
it? It gets more interesting, in my opinion. Dwight D. Eisenhower. The
Dwight D.
Declaration of
Keikenhauer.
San Carlos de Bariloche. The very same place, man. By the president and President Frondizi of Argentina. The presidents of the Argentine nation and the USA, having conferred on matters relating to peace, freedom, cultural and material opportunities for peoples of Americas, have decided to issue a joint declaration. They reaffirm the determination of their respective governments to foster and improve living standards for the peoples of the Americas. And funny thing, Argentina got tons and tons of money from the USA after that. I wonder why. I wonder why. Wonder why.
She ran away.
Bill Clinton ends Latin American trip at an
I
Argentine
don't
resort
run
in
away.
Bariloche, Argentina, where even Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid stayed for
Interesting.
a while.
All the outlaws stay there.
1978 wasn't much of a story, so I didn't bother to clip it. Obama in Argentina, president seeks to heal old wounds over U.S. backing of the nation's military coup 40 years ago. Oh, that's interesting. It's almost as if the Argentine government knew something that the U.S. government was willing to pay them billions of dollars to keep quiet about, and then maybe they decided they weren't going to keep quiet about it, so the U.S. supported regime change. What was called a dirty war, in which 30,000 people were disappeared.
They're good at disappearing people.
Now that's interesting. That's interesting. Supposedly Hitler goes to Argentina. Eisenhower goes, Carter goes, Clinton goes, Obama goes. The question is, what does Argentina know?
Yeah.
That was worth billions of American taxpayers' dollars. What does Argentina know?
Very interesting.
The United States doesn't want the rest of the world to know.
Top
In my
secret.
estimation, it's more than just Hitler fled to Argentina, much more. And even the biggest skeptic has to admit that there's something weird.
Well, if 3 ex-presidents went there, there's got to be something going on over
It's
there.
like it's the secret that is not. Hitler snuck away to Argentina, but we're telling every damn body about it. Wow. Interesting, folks. Interesting, folks.
Very interesting.
Again, it's an orgy of evidence.
Orgy.
They're trying too hard, in my opinion.
Orgy and hard?
I've come to the conclusion that it's a diversion.
Possible. A lot of them went to the Argentina.
It's a double D. A double diversion.
Love double D's.
It could be even a triple D. We all know how nice that would be. A Deutsche double diversion. I don't know if they have triple D. It might go to something else after 2 Ds. I'm not sure.
Double D is big enough.
Is there triple Ds or is it just double Ds then F? I don't know. Adolf Hitler, in
I
fact,
think there's triple Ds.
did escape his Berlin bunker, and he did flee to safety in exile.
What's the big deal with the double D's?
Many
That'll work.
powerful someones want us to believe that he went to Argentina. Photographic eyewitness. They're trying too hard. He didn't go to Argentina. They're trying to protect the real truth. And they're trying very, very, very desperately to do so. Very desperate. Argentina's a diversion. Too much evidence. Too much effort by the cabal to make us believe it. It's a classic faux enlightenment. Sort of. It's at least a double D, maybe a triple D, or is it an F? I don't know. Type of diversion. Somebody did go to Argentina.
Yeah.
Brandon
Lots of guys went to Argentina.
Good for you. Someone did go to Argentina. Someone that looked a lot like the Chancellor went to Argentina. But it wasn't the real Chancellor. The man that looked like Hitler, the German U-boat that did go to Argentina, full of cigarettes, full of coffee, full of supplies.
Well, perfect for a horse's breakfast.
It stayed. It was never supposed to be the Chancellor on that flotilla. It was a diversion to draw away the eyes, the ears of the world from where the real Hitler was.
Nice.
Someone went to Argentina, it wasn't just him. And what did those people in Argentina know then? Those people in Argentina that Eisenhower went to see, and Carter went to see, and Clinton went to see, and Obama went to see, they knew that Hitler didn't go to Argentina.
No.
Did they know where Hitler did go?
Probably.
That's the question.
We all know. We all need it together.
That's the question that
100%.
preoccupies our minds tonight. To be or not to be?
That is a question.
To Argentina or not to Argentina? Where did he go? Somebody went to Argentina. We've got evidence of it. But I'm telling you, it wasn't the real chancellor.
Nope.
Argentina is a double diversion. Dagger, there's the double D.
Double D's. Jeff knows I love double D's.
A diversion operation. And the cabal, outmaneuvered, plays the hand dealt them by the chancellor as best they can. That makes it a double diversion.
Yep.
The chancellor created the Argentinian diversion. The cabal goes along with the Argentinian diversion because it's the best play they got from the cards that were dealt to them by the chancellor. And they, the cabal, they're counting on us to be stupid, lazy, and frightened. And I'm sad to say, but that's a safe bet.
Yep.
Even the best of our people never grow lazy. They grow stupid. They grow frightened. They grow frightened.
That's because they're all
In
swimmers.
1,000 years.
Most of them are swimmers. According to the detail of that.
Christian infection.
90% of them in Canada. I doubt that fact. I doubt those numbers, I should say.
Feminized little bitches. And it's a sad and a terrible thing. But more about that on another night. Available evidence proves the chancellor did, in fact, escape the Berlin bunker and flee to safety and exile. What does the evidence show as to his location? Not Argentina. That's the setup. The mass of Argentina evidence is a reason that we know that's not where he went.
Doppelganger.
Doppelganger. You know, that's a German word. Isn't that interesting? A doppelganger went to
Doppelganger / clone.
Argentina. A Hitler double with the mission strategically leaked to throw the Allies off. It allowed the chancellor to get he and his most precious cargo to a place of ultimate safety that he had been preparing for years. That's me, baby. That's my idea. Now we roll into really weird territory. There is a place known as the Twilight Zone, but that is for babies.
The Twilight
now
Zone.
Now we're going into the unindoctrination zone. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cousins of all ages. The danger is that once you go there, there may not be any coming back from there. And on that note, let me share a little something with you. This makes me so happy. I mean, it just makes me so freaking happy. I just want to celebrate. I just want to celebrate.
No, nothing left.
I do.
Sorry, Jeff, nothing left to drink.
Because I'm going to show you why I want to celebrate here in just a second. I want to celebrate for a couple of reasons. Here's one reason I want to celebrate.
A little bit left.
This isn't the real reason I want to celebrate, but I'll share this one with you too because it's kind of fun. Colleen sent me this, and I posted it on my Gab channel. One of my subscribers sent this to me. Nail on the head. So many Christians call you the devil and Satan. They won't have a discussion with you. I guess the devil's more powerful than them and their God. The facts scare them. Yes, absolutely. Like this guy. He calls himself Worldwide Organization. Big, strong, powerful dude. Wouldn't come on the deep program.
Of course not. Probably next third.
Talking about me. I destroyed Jesus, Judaism, and Christianity last night. Rest in infamy, bitches. This is not what I'm talking about. I want to find this one. It's really, really
the last
good.
drop.
It's really, really good. Oh, here. It's about here. This is it right here.
That's the spot.
Let me see if it'll come up when I click on that.
Ooh, nice.
Look at this right here. Remember this always. Our women, unlike the Christian women, aren't docile and weak. They're true and beautiful.
Right on.
Representatives of Aryan strength.
Right on.
Yes, and yes. Oh, here it is.
That's why my mom, I love her to death, but she's
This is why I do what I do.
Crazy Chris tard, so.
Brother, I don't know if you remember me or not, but no less than a month ago, I attempted to dispute you by saying that we could ally ourselves with Christians to fight for our
No,
race.
no,
You
definitely
told me it
not.
was impossible.
It is
You
impossible.
were right.
Yes.
Now I stand fully
Right,
with my
indeed.
people alone. I call that a win.
Win.
Gentlemen,
Winning.
boys and girls, cousins of
Can't trust a
all
Christard.
ages. Sorry for the little diversion, but I think it was worth mentioning.
Definitely.
A doppelganger went to Argentina. A doppelganger went to Argentina, not the real chancellor. He went to a place of ultimate safety that he'd been preparing for years. He went to a place that I like to call the Untersberg.
100%.
Jeff, what the hell is the Untersberg? Hold on, I'll tell you. Marvin Bormann was sent there with Blondie, the beloved German Shepherd, just hours before the Chancellor himself left Berlin on the Arado AR-234. While the Sun Flotilla was headed to Argentina, the Chancellor was following Bormann and Blondie with Eva Braun in tow to Berchtesgaden. Berchtesgaden. Home to the Untersberg.
Yeah. Right on.
Home to the Untersberg. Let me stop sharing and see if I'm still in safe territory for YouTube. Am I still in safe territory
for now?
YouTube? I think so. Let's talk
He always
about
checks
the
with Cynthia.
Untersberg
Hey, you
just
didn't
a
check
little
her
bit.
this
That's the
time.
place I've been. I've been there. I spent 6 weeks wandering the tunnels of the Untersberg. 6 weeks. And under the Untersberg, connecting to the Berghof, to the Eagle's Nest, and several other locations, there's a massive tunnel grid. We
Ooh,
would call it a.
lots of tunnels here in Ottawa too.
There's a massive grid of tunnels and bunkers underneath the Berghof, connecting
All
to the
cities that are
Untersberg,
older
connecting it to
have all
the
tunnels
Eagle's
underneath.
Nest, the tea house, if you will.
That's how they get around.
I'm one of the very few people, or one of not many people alive, that's been in those tunnels.
That's cool.
I was going to, believe it or not, an Assemblies of God servicemen's retreat for something called Berean Missionary Fellowship. Every year, 2 weeks. And it was permissive leave, which was the interesting thing. I didn't get charged leave. But we would go down there for 2 weeks. We'd have a big revival, you know, great speakers and lessons, and explore the Bavarian countryside. And the third year that I was there, I was able to go down because the guy remembered me from the previous 2 years. He let me and my friend Herman go down into the tunnels. They all, I mean, it was a bunker. You know, most of them had the great floors, you know, great GRATE. Some of them had, you know, regular cement floors. And he said, just be careful, boys, because it goes for miles and miles and miles. So we were in those tunnels. And you just wonder the history. It's amazing. But the really amazing part, and some of you have heard me talk about this. I've talked about this on Coast to Coast.
Yeah, that's cool.
I've talked about this extensively in RD programs. And I've always wondered, I don't even think I told Cynthia this yet, but one day, it had to be 1987.
I was 7.
Summer of 1987, May or June.
The good old days.
We were down in, and Herman was with me.
Herman.
We were down in these tunnels.
Not too many guys named Herman
I remember
nowadays.
it so vividly because I was married then, and I had this bad habit of I would take my ring off, turn it around, put it back on, take it off, turn it around, put it back on, and I dropped it. And then went down and hit one of these very little thin cross beams on the floor, and it bounced back up, and I caught it.
Oh, good.
But that wasn't the most remarkable thing that happened when we were down there that
You
day.
would have been SOL if
we
you
were
would have
down
lost
there that
it.
day, we heard barks of a dog.
Ruff, ruff.
And now I know, since I now have a German Shepherd, the very distinctive vocalizations of a German Shepherd.
Dagger
and we heard
Jr.
a voice saying, Blondie,
Come see him.
kommen Sie hier. Meine Liebe.
He's told this story before.
We heard the voice.
That's cool.
There's only one person that would have talked, that would have had a dog down there, and only one person that would have talked to that dog, and he actually used the name Blondie, did this voice. Blondie, kommen Sie hier. Meine Liebe means my love.
Meine Liebe.
Only one person would say that, and that person would have been the Chancellor. And I've wondered for years, because I wasn't who I am now then. I didn't know what's the Steve Martin line from The Jerk. I didn't know shit from Shinola. Shit, Shinola, shit, Shinola, shit, Shinola. I didn't know. Did I hear an apparition? Was it residual energy? I think that I've decided, after all these years, that what I really heard in those bunker halls, I think I actually heard the voice of the living Fuhrer, and I think I actually heard the voice of the living Blondie. What did the Rod say? Did I hear the living Fuhrer in 1986?
Yes.
In the Untersberg? They say yes.
That's cool.
Did I hear Blondie in 1986?
Yes.
They say yes. I'm convinced of it. But Jeff,
Next time I call him, I'm going to ask
be
the Rod's
this, ought to be
question.
that
Now that he's
old.
found the
Yeah, I
rods.
get it.
He
I
just
understand what
moved,
you're
so
saying.
that's
I
good that he
understand what
found
you're
the
saying.
rods.
Believe me, I get it. But there's a secret. There's a secret that you don't know. But there's a secret that you're about to find out. Nina says dimensional. No, I think real. I think I heard the real voice of the living Fuhrer. And I know you think I'm crazy. 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 For thinking I heard the Fuhrer.
Nothing enough to drink.
I'm crazy, but I'm not lying.
Gotta get some more tomorrow.
I'm crazy. I'm not crying. I'm crazy. But I'm crazy like a fox, I tell you. Wow. What the heck?
Wow.
What the heck?
What the heck? He's trying to be
Let's
good,
move
not
on.
by
Let
swearing.
me tell you the
Oh,
secret.
Cold Steel Norman, Curtiless
I
Machete
told you the secret
Reloaded.
before.
Ooh, I'm going to check that out right after this,
You might have
Steve.
forgotten about the secret. And some of you might not have heard the
Maybe
secret.
he'll pop on once he
Let me
finishes
tell
the
you
video
about
if
the
he's still
secret.
awake.
I'm going to have to move quickly. It's a big secret, but we got to move quickly. And you can watch again. It's a beautiful thing about it. If you remember, it's been months ago, I think. We talked about the Untersberg, and this is the Untersberg right here in the picture. Mountain of mystery and intrigue. The Untersberg. People talk about the Bermuda Triangle. Missing time. Well, the Untersberg, the most mysterious mountain in the world, and the obsession of one Adolf Hitler from Archive.com. Everybody knows the Bermuda Triangle is a portal to other worlds, but on the European continent, there's another place that holds even more mysteries than the Triangle. More people have gone, quote-unquote, missing, lost time, came out of the places in the Untersberg than ever have on the Bermuda Triangle. So why have you heard of the Untersberg? Now you're starting to get it.
Mm-hmm.
You've all heard of the Bermuda Triangle. That's where people get lost, they go to other worlds, they disappear. But you know there's many, many, many more people that have gone missing. Hundreds of people have gone missing at the Untersberg. Never to be seen again.
And in
or
national
showing up
forests.
years later in another place on Earth. Have they made a jump in time, space, or both? Missing people have been so frequent that German and Austrian newspapers regularly carry stories on the mystery. It's right on the border of Germany and Österreich, or Austria. There's many hundreds of ancient legends surrounding this mountain involving missing time. Unterberg means under mountain in German. The very name conveys the long-held beliefs that this is no ordinary mountain and that there's something going on inside it. And the stories with this mountain come from immemorial, and Adolf Hitler became obsessed with the Untersberg.
Interesting.
It stretches between Berchtesgaden and Salzburg, Obersalzburg,
That's where he's
Austria.
from.
Strange disappearances, incredible appearances regularly occur. The Dalai Lama went there in 1992.
That was a
He
good
said
year
it
for
was the home
Toronto.
of sleeping dragons, and it's the heart chakra of the world.
Oh, really?
Amazing. There's no English word that can explain what anahata means. That's a word that the Dalai Lama used, but it means something like unhurt, unstruck, or unbeaten. And it's interesting he called it the heart chakra of the earth because it's arguably in the heart of the
look
earth.
at that, right in the
would be
middle.
Location of the Untersberg.
Interesting.
And on the flat earth map, it's also in the heart of the earth.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that interesting? Just thought I'd throw that in. Many people have disappeared in the Untersberg only to appear months later, not remembering anything. 1987, 3 friends in the Untersberg. They didn't come back. Search teams found not a hint of them.
Oh, wow.
The car they were riding in was parked near the base of the mountain. It contained personal documents one wouldn't abandon. After 3 weeks, they were reported as missing. That's the Untersberg.
That's crazy.
3 months later, the 3 people that went into the Untersberg and disappeared appeared on a ship in the Red Sea.
What? Oh, wow.
They were terrified. They didn't know what had happened. Time portals, elves, fairies, gnomes, extraterrestrials, subterranean civilizations, paranormal phenomenon, my encounter with what I say is the living chancellor, all centered on this mountain. And this mountain was connected by those tunnels that I was in. Here's Der Führer and his beloved Blondie. Looks a lot like our beloved Barkley. But boy, was she a bad dog yesterday. But anyway. Borman gave
poor Barkley.
Hitler
Blondie.
Blondie as a birthday present in 1941.
Ooh, we all got a Blondie's birthday present.
Bormann took Blondie and fled to the Obersalzberg, to the Untersberg in the last days of the war. He was Hitler's closest associate, which tells me Hitler also fled to the Untersberg just after Bormann. Wow. It's a 22-minute drive from the Untersberg to the Berghof, where I heard Hitler calling Blondie in 1986. If you can get to the middle of the Red Sea from the Untersberg, then surely you can get to the Untersberg from Berchtesgaden. Here's Berchtesgaden. Here's the Untersberg. You could very likely get there from Berlin, too. We know Hitler's closest associate did. Something to ponder. Secret maps of the Third Reich. Did Hitler find the entrance to inner Earth?
Huh. Interesting.
The possibility that the Earth is hollow spurred the imagination of the Fuhrer. The Fuhrer was obsessed with Ekharta, an underground paradise ruled by the king of the world. The Third Reich map displayed the direct passageway.
Lots of info about people stealing from
Ekharta.
under the earth, so.
Supposedly they discovered it Asgard. Hitler had each disappearance. This is still there. This telescope is still there.
Oh, cool.
They're standing on the grounds. This is either the tea house or the Berghof. I believe this is the Berghof. And here's the Berghof. Every room in the building has a floor-to-ceiling window looking out at the
Beautiful view. Beautiful.
Why?
Want to keep an eye on it, obviously.
Disappearance case at the Untersberg internalized. He learned the people. He knew their names. He knew the dates. He sent special teams to search the caverns and build the tunnels. Hitler had special telescopes that were built. And Hitler believed that inside the mountain there were hidden forces that could help him win the war. And perhaps even escape death. In 2008, an expedition was organized to explore the Untersberg. They went as deep as 1,056 meters. They found more than 800 passageways.
Wow.
There was depth of 930 meters. Amazing. I've been here. This is where Silent Night was written. It's called St. Bartholomew. This is the Koningsee, is the name of that lake. I've been to this location. It's a highly energetic area. It also connects to the Untersberg, into the Berghof, via tunnels. This is a story of some people that went through a special entrance in St. Bartholomew, went into the Untersberg, met some people in there. They thought they were gone for an hour. About 7 days passed. If you wish to live, don't tell anybody what happened for 35 years. Now go in peace. Exactly 35 years after they wrote the story down, the person died.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Crazy.
This is the story I just told you. There exists in this area a connected network of underground tunnels between the key locations. German military has built it. These are some of the key locations. Here's the Koningsee that we were talking about. All of these places are connected. Can you imagine the work?
Wow.
There was a wedding group in 1858 that went in to the Untersberg. They came out and 100 years had passed. As late as 2004.
That's crazy. 100 years.
An American tourist went missing in the Untersberg. Here's the actual German newspaper from Berchtesgadener Land. She goes in. Comes out months later. And this is really interesting. I remember seeing this. It's just crazy.
Interesting.
The Hall of the Heroes. Why would you build this random, grandiose structure down in Untersberg? Why? Why? This is the inside.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Neuschwanstein.
That's a huge
Very
castle.
close to the Untersberg. What do we know? There's a mysterious mountain and lake region in Bavaria that has a long history of time slip, time travel, teleportation, cessation of aging, deep underground passages, interconnecting tunnels and dwellings. We know that people have gone missing, reappeared hundreds of years later without aging, back in this area or in other faraway places. We know this is documented not just in lore, but in historical and contemporary news reports. We know that Marvin Bormann, just before Hitler left Berlin, went to the Untersberg with Blondie. We know that there's deep lore as well as eyewitness reports that many of our great dead are not dead at all, but in the Untersberg, waiting to come to humanity's aid in the last great struggle. The Dalai Lama called it unstruck or unbeaten. He called it the place of sleeping dragons. We know grandiose architecture has been erected, perhaps in expectation of just such an event. We know that the Chancellor was obsessed with this region and spent years there. We know that the Chancellor was from the area, about 3 hours away.
Oh.
I know that I personally heard the voice of the Chancellor calling his beloved dog Blondie, deep in the bowels of the Berghof, which are not connected to the Untersberg. I've often wondered what type of paranormal event allowed me to hear Der Führer and Blondie. I don't wonder anymore. What if the Chancellor's alive? What if he's well? What if he's in the Untersberg, waiting for the right time to emerge and lead us to victory and freedom? To emerge and lead us to victory and freedom. I kick myself, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cousins of all ages. I kick myself. I was probably 10, 20 feet from meeting the Führer face to face. But then again, I wonder what would have happened had I met the Führer face to face. I really wonder what would happen if I'd have met Blondie first, especially after seeing some of the stuff that Barclay's capable of. Maybe I never would have come out of there. Maybe I never would have come out of there, cousins. So maybe it's best. But once you've heard the voice of the Führer, things are never quite the same. It was a long, long time ago, but now I know. Now I know. Now I know. And now you know.
Yes, we do.
The
Interesting.
secret. Was it Linda that asked, is he still alive? I don't know, Linda, you tell me. But it's certainly possible.
It's definitely alive in
Why
spirit.
was he so obsessed with it? Gia says, I think you're doing exactly what he wanted help with. Oh, thank you.
Excuse me.
Likely you would not have returned, said Steve Bohr.
He's waiting.
Everybody needs leaders. We don't need saviors, but we can use leaders because we don't have enough leaders. And I am more than willing to accept the help of a great leader. More than
You definitely
willing
could
to
use a
accept
great
the
leader
help
for sure,
of a
especially in these
great
times.
leader. Please don't be rude in the chat room, as I will be forced to block you from the channel. And I really don't want to. I really don't want to. But I will. Thank you, Gian. The secret. Now we know.
Yep.
Now we know. We only have about 45 minutes left. I wasn't going to know if I was going to go deep into this or not. I don't know if I will. We've done another deep program on this. But the second coming pictured in Revelation 19, the second coming pictured in Matthew 24, is much more likely to be the chancellor than Jesus.
At least he was real.
We've gone through it.
Not like fake plastic Jesus.
And it's very, very compelling. Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate it. It's very, very compelling. And oh, by the way, the chancellor was quoted as saying, "My spirit will rise from the grave and the world will see that I was right." Maybe, cousins, that starts tonight. What do you think? Maybe, cousins, that starts tonight. I don't know. Maybe. Let me see if I can find something real quickly. What was the name of that? What was the name of that? Was it the second coming? We did this deep program a while back. Second coming, it can't be Jesus. This might be it. Let me take a quick look. From Isis to Jesus, hidden story of Isis. Oh, yeah. Is this where I had my famous meme? Do we want to look at this a little bit?
Maybe.
Do we want to look at this a little bit? Do we want to look at this a little bit?
Just a little bit.
I think it's too much to get into now.
Too much.
I have to go
Never.
back and look at some of the old deprograms.
Too many. Too
But
many
it's
on the
very,
Great
very
Chancellor.
possible that Revelation might even be written. It might even be written telling us that a Odinic type of character
Ooh.
will come back.
Denick.
Will come back to help lead us
I hope
into
so.
a victorious overcoming of the cabal. Let's look at this real quickly, and then we'll open up the phone lines. Maybe we'll get out here a little bit early tonight. Let's look at this real quickly. Revelation 19. Let's take a look. This talks about Revelation 19. And I saw heaven open, behold, a white horse. He that sat upon him was called Faithful and Truth, and righteousness he judges and makes war. His eyes were a flame of fire. His head had many crowns. He had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed in a vesture dipped in blood. This is an Odin Edom type. It's
Wow.
Odin Edom typology. Could you say that the Chancellor would be becoming an Odin Edom typology? I think so,
Yeah,
yes.
I think so. I agree.
He is smiting the nations, those that had something writ on their thigh, the vesture and the thighs, and a talk about Hebrew oaths. I'm just going to throw a little bit out there. Revelation 19, King of Kings, Lord of Lords, an angel was standing in the sun. The original Greek says the black sun.
Mm.
Ooh. This person comes back out of the black sun. Wow. Something to think about, folks. Something
Interesting.
to think about. I didn't actually find the one I was looking for.
You have so
That's
many
okay.
deprograms on the Chancellor, it's hard to find it.
That's okay.
Why do so much?
Let me see real quickly. Oh, by the way, folks. By the way. On Sunday, Cynthia and I saw in the sky, and I can't believe I'm saying this, because I know that there's been a lot of nonsense about this, terrible nonsense about this, but we saw unmistakably what was, people call it Tiamat. We saw some crazy ass thing in the sky that they want us to believe is the moon, is not the moon. And then we actually saw with our own eyes. We saw with our own eyes the Hercolubus. The Hercolubus. The Planet X, whatever you want to call it. We saw it with our own eyes.
Oh, okay.
Here, I found what I wanted to show you. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to come back. I'm going to show you this stuff here. And I think you're going to be freaking amazed by it. In fact, I know you're going to be amazed by it. We're going to show you this. And then we will open up the lines and take some calls. But while I'm gone, take a look at this. Familiarize yourself with this. Because when I get back, we're going to talk about it. And we'll close out the deprogram with this. We'll close out the deprogram with this. You're listening to Late Night in the Heartland. We'll be right back after this.
I was a little behind on the live program. after I called in. I think I was like 7 minutes behind, so I couldn't call back in. That's the problem when you pause it to call in. You can't call back in. You could, but it's hard to call, especially because I paused it. I think there's only like 10 minutes left because he switches to Rockfin at the end. So when he goes into the deep info.
All right, let's get back into this. I hope you've had some time to familiarize yourself with
Yeah, I read it.
this, because I'm going to dive right into it and break
Head
it down
first.
now.
Break it
And
down.
I'm going to give you some new things to think about. I'm going to give you some new things to think about. I'm going to hurry because I don't have a whole lot of time. I don't have a whole lot of time. Oh boy. I think it's just time to ban a bitch over here. Well, I'll give him one more chance.
I love when Jeff bans a bitch.
So here
He doesn't do it enough.
we go. Now, let's break this down. Let's look at it in detail and let's see.
Whoa, what happened to the audio?
We see. Okay. Gonna move fast. I don't know if I'm gonna take any calls tonight because, well, anyway. And I'm gonna say goodbye to you on YouTube. Unfortunately, I have to. I salute you for being here seeking after truth.
Oh, that's
We're
it.
gonna go over to Rockfin. Just go to. I'll drop. Oh boy, I will drop the URL for you.
The Great Revelation 19, the Great Inversion.
You can go find it. I'm only gonna drop it one.
Remember, this is written by the High Adepts, the learned elders of the Khazarian Mafia.
Here we go.
I still have it open, literally rendered. The writer saw the heights opening up. This speaks to me of the Untersberg, though it metaphorically could be Antarctica or ME, whatever
This
that
is where
is.
we're going. I can't.
And behold a white horse, a brilliant horse. This could be a white horse. Odin rode a white steed. It could also be a brilliant mode of transportation, a nationalist UFO.
Content. Thank you all.
And he sat upon him what called faithful and true, trustworthy, faithful, and believing. Had this realm ever seen a more trustworthy leader than the Chancellor? The other stuff's blocked by his picture.
And we have dropped us off of
you. And that's it. Nighty night.
I don't know.
See you later, cousins. Till tomorrow.
Well, watch. We'll go back to Romans.
Or later today.